Victoria Chen was 38 years old, and no one could guess who she really was. A Stanford graduate, she had transformed the small factory she inherited from her father 15 years ago into a technology giant. This morning, she had come to the factory disguised as an ordinary cleaning worker, until the young engineers told her, "This place isn't on your level." Welcome to Human Stories. Before we begin this inspiring story of female leadership, tell us in the comments which city you're watching from today, and if you believe true leadership comes from humility, hit that subscribe button. These stories empower. Chen Technologies' main production facility was located in San Jose, in the heart of Silicon Valley. The 50,000 square foot modern factory, equipped with state-of-the-art production lines, clean rooms, and 200 skilled employees, was one of the industry leaders. The first shift had started at 7:30 a.m. Engineers, technicians, and operators in white coats had begun work. Everyone was working in their own field, at their own level. The cleaning worker entering the factory attracted no attention. A 38-year-old Asian woman in blue overalls, rubber boots, cleaning supplies in her hands. Her hair was pulled back in a simple bun, a mask on her face, protective glasses over her eyes. Ordinary, invisible, insignificant. Her name was Victoria Chen, but no one knew that. Every time Victoria entered the factory, she felt the same emotion, pride. She had built this factory from scratch. She knew every machine, every production line, every detail. But today, she was here for a different purpose. In recent months, complaints had been coming to the board of directors. There were hierarchy problems in the factory, disrespect toward blue-collar workers, class discrimination was an issue. Victoria wanted to test these allegations. As Victoria pushed her cleaning cart, she approached the R&D section. This was where the company's brightest engineers worked. Most were young, talented, graduates of prestigious universities. One of them was Kevin Park, 28 years old, an MIT graduate software engineer. He was seen as the company's rising star. Beside him were two more friends, Sarah Williams, Stanford electrical engineer, and David Kumar, Berkeley mechanical engineer. As Victoria passed by them, Kevin raised his voice. "Excuse me, you can't be here." Victoria stopped, looked up. "Sorry, I'm just cleaning." "This is R&D section. Cleaning staff aren't allowed during work hours." Victoria remained calm. "I have work orders. I need to clean these areas." Sarah intervened. "Look, we're working on confidential projects. You need to come back later." "When should I come back?" David smiled. "Maybe never?" "This area is above your clearance level." Victoria looked at them, young, confident, a bit arrogant. "I understand. I'll check with my supervisor." Kevin waved his hand. "Yeah, do that. And next time, stay in the areas where you belong." Victoria quietly walked away, but she had mentally noted every word. Victoria continued walking around the factory. She received different reactions in each section. Some employees were polite, others completely ignored her. The operators working on the production line were warmer toward her. Miguel Santos, an operator with 15 years of experience, smiled at Victoria. "Good morning. New here?" "Yes, first week." "Welcome. I'm Miguel. If you need anything, let me know." Victoria noted this difference. Blue-collar workers were more supportive of each other, while white-collar workers behaved distantly and hierarchically. At lunch break, she went to the cafeteria. A large, modern space. The tables seemed to be divided by departments, engineers in one corner, technicians in another corner, operators and cleaning staff at the very back. Victoria sat at one of the back tables. Rosa from the cleaning staff came beside her. "Hi, honey, first day?" "Yes, still learning." "Don't worry, you'll get used to it. Just stay away from the engineers. They think they're better than us." Victoria was curious. "Why do you say that?" "They don't see us as people. We're invisible to them. Sometimes they talk about us like we're not even here." In the afternoon, Victoria went to the quality control section. Here, Jennifer Walsh, a 32-year-old chemical engineer, was working with her team. Victoria began cleaning their tables. Jennifer was talking on the phone. "Yeah, the cleaning standards have dropped lately. These people don't understand the importance of cleanroom protocols. Victoria listened carefully. Jennifer continued. I mean, how hard is it to mop a floor properly? They probably don't even have high school degrees. Victoria wanted to intervene at that moment. She had a PhD from Stanford. She was one of the few people in the factory more knowledgeable than her in chemistry. But she remained silent. Mark, the technician next to Jennifer. Maybe we should hire a better cleaning company. These people are just not suitable for a high-tech environment. Exactly. They don't belong here. Victoria finished cleaning and walked away. Her heart was beating fast, not just from anger, but from disappointment. Near the evening shift, Victoria decided to conduct the most critical test. She went up to the upper floor where the CEO office was located. Only senior executives worked here. She encountered Kevin Park in the elevator. They were alone. Kevin looked at her. What are you doing here? This floor is restricted. I need to clean the executive offices. Do you have authorization? Victoria pulled out a fake work order from her bag. Kevin looked but didn't examine it in detail. Look, I don't know who assigned you here, but this is not appropriate. These offices contain sensitive information. You clearly don't have the background to be here. What kind of background do I need? Kevin smiled. Education, for starters. Understanding of corporate hierarchy. This is a Fortune 500 company, not a local grocery store. Victoria remained calm. I understand hierarchy. Do you? Because you seem confused about your place in it. That sentence hurt Victoria, not just because he belittled her, but because it showed this mentality was widespread in the company. The next day, Victoria came again disguised as a cleaning worker. This time, she was making more careful observations. She was noting every conversation, every behavior. At lunch break, she went to the cafeteria again. This time, she decided to try something a bit different. She sat near the engineer's table. Kevin Park was talking to his friends. Yesterday, I had to deal with one of the cleaning people. She was trying to get into the executive floor. Can you believe it? Sarah. Seriously? What did you do? I put her in her place. These people need to understand boundaries. David. It's like they think they own the place. Kevin. Exactly. Someone needs to teach them respect for hierarchy. Victoria had seen enough. She got up, passed by their tables. Kevin looked at her. Excuse me, this section is for engineers. Victoria stopped. I'm just passing through. Well, pass through faster, and next time, use the other route. Victoria nodded and left. But this was her last day as a cleaning worker. The next morning, Victoria came to the factory at her normal time. But this time she wore different clothes. A tailored business suit, professional makeup, Hermes bag. Her hair was styled elegantly, designer shoes. She went straight to the CEO office by elevator. Her assistant Linda was waiting. Good morning, Ms. Chen. Ready for today's meeting? Absolutely. Has everyone been informed? Yes, all department heads and the engineers you specified will be there. Victoria smiled. Perfect. When she entered the meeting room, 15 people were sitting. Kevin, Sarah, David, Jennifer, Mark, and other department managers. Everyone was waiting for Victoria, but no one recognized her. HR Director Jane Martinez made the introduction. Everyone, please welcome our CEO, Victoria Chen. The expressions in the room turned from surprise to shock. Especially Kevin's face went pale. Victoria. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. Victoria began her presentation. Last week, I conducted an undercover evaluation of our workplace culture. Some of you may remember a cleaning staff member who was working in your areas. Kevin's hands began to tremble. I wanted to see how we treat our blue-collar workers, how our hierarchy functions, and whether our company values are being lived out daily. Victoria switched to the first slide. What I found was deeply disturbing. The slide showed Kevin's words. These people need to understand boundaries, and someone needs to teach them respect for hierarchy. Kevin, do you remember saying this? Kevin swallowed. I thought you were a cleaning person, and that gave you the right to demean me? Victoria opened the next slide. Jennifer's words. They probably don't even have high school degrees. Jennifer, what's your opinion on this statement now? Jennifer couldn't speak. Victoria continued. For your information, the cleaning person you were dismissing has a PhD in chemical engineering from Stanford, built this company from 20 employees to 200, and has been named to Forbes's list of top female entrepreneurs 3 times. The room was completely silent. Victoria continued her presentation. But this isn't about me. This is about Rosa, Miguel, and all our blue-collar workers who face this discrimination daily. Kevin gathered courage. Ms. Chen, I apologize. I didn't know who you were. Victoria turned to him. That's exactly the problem, Kevin. You shouldn't need to know who I am to treat someone with basic respect. I understand, but no buts. You judge someone based on their job title, not their humanity. Victoria opened the next slide. Here are some facts about our uneducated cleaning staff. Employee information appeared on screen. Rosa Martinez, associate degree in business, works 2 jobs to support 3 children. Miguel Santos, Army veteran, 15 years of manufacturing experience, currently studying for his bachelor's degree online. The room became even quieter. These are the people you've been dismissing as unworthy of basic respect. Victoria finished her presentation. Effective immediately, we're implementing several changes. First slide, mandatory respect and inclusion training for all employees. Second slide, anonymous reporting system for workplace discrimination. Third slide, performance reviews will now include evaluation of how employees treat colleagues at all levels. Victoria looked at Kevin. Kevin, you're a talented engineer, but talent without character is worthless. You're being transferred to a position where you can focus on technical work while you learn about leadership. Kevin's promotion dreams were shattered. Jennifer Mark, your comments showed a fundamental lack of respect for your colleagues. You'll be attending additional training and your performance will be closely monitored. Victoria stood up. This company was built on the principle that everyone deserves respect, regardless of their role. We seem to have lost sight of that. After the meeting, Victoria toured the factory, this time with her real identity. She visited every department, talked with employees. When she found Rosa, Rosa, can we talk? Rosa was worried. Did I do something wrong, Ms. Chen? Quite the opposite. I wanted to thank you for your kindness when I was undercover, and I want to discuss your career development. My career development? You mentioned studying business. We're starting a tuition assistance program, and there's a supervisor position opening in facilities management. Rosa's eyes filled with tears. Really? Really. We need leaders who understand respect and teamwork. She also found Miguel. Miguel, I heard you're studying for your degree. Yes, ma'am, online classes. Takes longer, but what if we offered you paid study time and on-site training opportunities? Miguel was surprised. You'd do that? Miguel, you've been here 15 years. You know this place better than most engineers. It's time we recognize that. Kevin changed after that day. Initially, he was angry, thought he was being treated unfairly. But gradually, he began to see the truth. In his new position, he became more humble. He reviewed his interactions with other employees. Gradually, he began to feel the effects of the respect training. One day, when he saw Rosa working as a supervisor, he approached. Rosa, congratulations on your promotion. Rosa was surprised. Thank you, Kevin. I owe you an apology. I was wrong about, well, everything. We all make mistakes. Not like mine. I was arrogant and disrespectful. I'm trying to do better. Rosa smiled. That's all anyone can ask for. 6 months later, Chen Technologies was a different place. Respectful workplace training had become mandatory at every level. Cross-departmental projects had been initiated. The barriers between blue-collar and white-collar workers had decreased. Victoria conducted monthly factory floor walkthroughs, this time as CEO, but with the same approachable manner. One day she was talking with Miguel. How do you feel about the changes? It's like a different company, Ms. Chen. People actually listen to us now. That's how it should have been from the beginning. You know, some people still don't believe you were the cleaning lady. Victoria smiled. Good. That means I'm a better actor than I thought. Victoria's undercover test began to be talked about in the technology sector. It was published as a case study in Harvard Business Review. Other CEOs began taking similar approaches. Victoria shared in speeches, "Leadership isn't about being above people. It's about being among them." In a Forbes interview, the real test of a leader isn't how they treat their equals, it's how they treat those they perceive as beneath them. Chen Technologies' employee satisfaction ratings rose to among the industry's highest. Turnover rates fell, productivity increased. A year later, Kevin was a different person. Respect training, mentorship programs, and personal reflection had changed him. He went to Victoria's office. "Ms. Chen, I wanted to speak with you." "Of course, Kevin. How can I help?" "I wanted to thank you." Victoria was surprised. "Thank me?" "For not firing me, for giving me a chance to learn and grow." "You did the work, Kevin. I just provided the opportunity." "I realize now how toxic my behavior was, not just to you, but to everyone." Victoria nodded. "Recognition is the first step. What matters is what you do next." "I want to be part of the solution. I've been thinking about joining the Diversity and Inclusion Committee." "I think that's an excellent idea." 2 years later, Chen Technologies had become a symbol of respect and inclusion in the industry. Victoria's undercover experiment had become a business school case study. Rosa had become facilities manager. Miguel had earned his bachelor's degree and was promoted to production supervisor. Kevin had become co-chair of the diversity committee. Victoria was walking through the factory, remembering that morning, disguised as a cleaning worker, seeing the true faces of her employees. Sometimes, she thought, you have to step down to lift others up. The interview process had changed for new engineer hires. Along with technical skills, emotional intelligence and respect for colleagues were also evaluated. During orientation for new hire Jennifer Kim, Victoria personally spoke. "Jennifer, welcome to Chen Technologies. We have one cardinal rule here." "What's that, Ms. Chen?" "Respect every person, regardless of their role. The janitor and the CTO deserve the same basic human dignity." "I understand. I hope you do, because I personally ensure this value is lived out daily." Jennifer was curious. "How do you do that?" Victoria smiled. "Sometimes I clean floors." And so, a CEO disguised as a cleaning worker changed not just a company, but an industry's culture. Victoria Chen didn't just go to test that morning, she also went to show the true meaning of leadership. Because real leadership doesn't come from titles, it comes from character. And sometimes the most powerful lessons are learned from the most humble positions. Victoria Chen that morning didn't just clean the factory by doing cleaning work. She also cleaned the prejudices that touched people's hearts. And this was a more valuable achievement than any profit. Kevin, Rosa, Miguel, and others were not just employees. They were also living proof of this transformation. They were proof that respect can be taught, that growth is possible, and that everyone is valuable. If this story moved you, let us know in the comments. Have you ever witnessed hierarchy discrimination in the workplace? What did you do? Share your stories with us. Don't forget to subscribe to Human Stories. We bring you powerful leadership and transformation stories like this every week, because every person has a story that deserves respect and the opportunity to show growth.